This program was made possible from the support of VSA Texas and Amerigroup.
Rise up, Amerigroup.
I love music too, man. Oh my God, I love music. I love music. Hi, folks. I'm Gene,
And I'm Dave.
and we're the
Gene and Dave Show. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Gene and Dave Show. Today, I've hung up my Gene and Dave Show shirt to wear my Studio 6A shirt. Gene, do you know what Studio 6A is?
No, I haven't a clue. What is it, Dave?
It's the old broadcast center on the UT campus where they first started Austin City Limits.
Oh my God, this is historical, then.
Yeah, it is. And I was actually at the last show of Studio 6A, so I wore my vintage t-shirt. Well, it was actually only a couple of years ago. But anyway, I snuck in after the show had started. It's pretty hard for a guy in a wheelchair to sneak in. But anyway, we were able to do it, and we went to see the last couple songs of Lyle Lovett close out Studio 6A, where Austin City Limits is filmed on the UT campus. And I tell you what, that's just the center of the mecca of music here in Austin. You know, Austin is called the
Live music capital of the world.
That's it, the live music capital of the world, and it is for a reason. Anytime that you go out to eat or you go anywhere, there's usually somebody playing music somewhere. And especially if you go downtown to 6th Street or wherever, you know, you see and you hear music. So what else should we do on the Gene and Dave Show but head down to 6th Street and see what we can find? And while we were down there, we just kind of happened to wander into one of the really nice places downtown, Vince Young Steakhouse.
Yeah.
And we talked to some people called Blue Mist.
Yeah, Blue Mist is a great band. They've been around for 25 years. And want to give a shout out to Ed Browning. Ed Browning is a talented musician with a disability from Austin who has since moved from Austin, but he got us hooked up with them. And God, Dave, what an impressive band. Let's hear some of their music, and then we'll talk a little bit about them.
Let's check them out.
I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. For the very first time I rest my eyes on you, girl, my heart had followed through. But I know now I'm without all the time. But the waiting's feeling fine. Girl, don't treat me like a puppet on a string, 'cause I know how to do my thing. Don't talk to me if you think I'm dumb. I wanna know when you're gonna come. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. Because someone here, I'm still waiting here.
Soulful music, and Robert Kelly, the head man there that organized this group, was telling us that one of the things he thought of early on was accommodations for his players, to figure out a way to get everyone a ride to rehearsals.
Right. I mean, it's crazy to think about that aspect of being in a band, but it definitely plays a big part in a band with so many people that have disabilities.
Yep. So, and in their case, the case of Blue Mist, most of them are blind, so they don't drive. And so, but they figured out a way to get everyone together. I think they started at School for the Blind, and Robert's got some big plans for him, and we were just so super happy they gave us some time to talk with them. Let's hear a little bit about the players in the band. Robert, why don't you tell us about them?
Initially, we all went to school together at the Texas School for the Blind here in Austin, but at different times. I'm a little bit older than the other guys, like about 10 years or something like that. But I started the band when I was at UT, and just was playing around. And then, you know, these guys, I used to go back out and kind of mentor a little bit at the school and try to, you know, encourage the music program out there. And so they were pretty much used to hearing me, and they kind of always wanted to play with my group because the whole idea was like, let's get a group of friends together, you know, that have a common issue and, you know, have the same interest in mind as far as music. And also because I know before that I was a drummer and I played for other bands, and, you know, you would always be like the lone blind person in the band, so you'd always have to try to find a ride to get to the gig or something, you know. So my deal was like, okay, if I can get a group of people together that are talented and have the same interests, and we play music together, that's going to be the glue that's going to really hold us together, first of all, and then we know each other. And coming out of that, you know, kind of residential school environment, these are like my brothers, you know. So, but that, and then also into providing a way for them to get to the gig, and not have to worry about that stress, you know, and get back home, because that's the biggest part of playing music as a visually impaired musician, as a blind musician, is to get back and forth to your gigs, you know. And so I figured, well, if we do that, then, you know, that would solve a major problem. And so I think that's pretty much evidence of how successful it's been after 25 years. We're still together, and we figure, well, if the sighted guys don't show up, we can still do the gig. Our lead guitar player is sighted, and he's the only one. Actually, he's playing on bass tonight.
So there's 6 of you.
Yeah, there's 6 of us. But our original bass player, we all graduated from the Texas School for the Blind, and but he's in Killeen, and it's just not economically feasible.
Oh, yeah.
To bring him up.
And you're from Lubbock.
I'm from Lubbock, yeah, and the keyboard player, Jimmy Vincent, is from Pampa, which is West Texas. Rodney Hyder, the drummer, he's from Austin. Steve Johnson, our sax player, is from Houston. And our bass player, Rex Bahoy, he's from Hawaii. You know.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but it's, you know, it's a fun group.
So how often you guys get together and how often you play?
Well, we're playing right now about 3 to 4 times a week. You get a lot of spin-offs from, you know, places like Vince Young's and Eddie V's and Z Tejas and, you know, Three Forks. We get a lot of spin-offs from that, so it's cool.
Oh, sure,
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I looked at your schedule. You're playing all over the place.
Thank
Wow.
God.
And
Yeah.
those are great venues.
They're
too.
great venues, yeah.
Wow. Soulful Music, I love them. They've got a CD out. Look for it on Amazon.com. Blue Mist. They play around town quite a bit. If you go to their webpage, you'll find a whole list of places that they play. So it should be easy to find them.
You've got to check out these people live. I mean, you can definitely buy their CD and listen to it while you're in the car, but just being there and actually seeing them play and just get into it was an incredible evening, and I can't wait to see them again.
And but they're not the only musicians here in Austin. Dave, as a matter of fact, you made a music video, featuring our friend Desiree Sturdivant. And the amazing thing about Desiree is not only is she a singer, but she's a composer. Now, check this out, folks. She's blind, but she uses software to compose her own music. She can add or delete tracks, change them around. Just fantastic. But my hat's off to Dave for making the following music video. And this was for Nobility Day.
It was. Anyway, let's check out Desiree and listen to some of the music that she's composed and see exactly how she does it using her computer.
My name is Desiree Sturdivant, and I am a musician. I graduated from the University of Texas at Austin in 2000, and I am also a mom and a homeschooler. And so I have lots of different trades that I do, but music has always been my passion and kind of something that I really enjoy doing, and technology has really enhanced my ability to create music on my own without the use of a recording studio and the expense that comes with that. And being able to also network a little bit to get some music jobs where I can sing at weddings or parties when I have time. This first site that I'm on right now is called Dancing Dots, and they actually offer a lot of blind musicians different kinds of products. So there's some for low vision music readers that will enlarge the music for them. There's some that will translate a piece of sheet music into braille music or audio. And then there's what they call their cake talking software that works with Sonar, which is a very popular recording program that musicians use at home to do MIDI recordings and keyboard recordings, different things like that. So a couple great things about the site itself is that, of course, they've made it very accessible, being that it's targeted toward blind musicians, so it's very friendly with screen readers. They've got the headings labeled, so you can see where. So I'm able to see which headings are which and the levels that they're at. They've also done a very good job at labeling their links. And if I want to know what any of that is, I can just activate the link. So, and as you can tell, and I'll show you a list of the graphics on here, the site is designed so that the photographs are described. So it tells me exactly what the photos are on this main page of the site, so that I know this is a person playing a clarinet. So from this site I can actually order any of these products. They're quite expensive, so I don't actually own any, but they are available to all blind musicians. So with this particular product I can actually create my own musical scores, and it'll put it on a staff for someone to read it, to sight read it, to be able to print it out and read it. So that's one of the first ways that technology has really empowered musicians with disabilities, especially blind musicians. And then the last thing that I use very extensively isn't on the web, but it is a software program that is accessible. It's called Audacity. And with Audacity, I can record my vocals or my instrumentals, depending on what I'd like to do. And I'm able to make home recordings of myself. I'm a singer, I'm a voice major. So this is a software called Audacity, and it's free, and it's a recording software that enables me to create music, whether I want to do instrumentals or vocals, and then I'm able to edit them, create MP3s, make CDs, whatever I want to do with those, and play them back. And I can put different kinds of sound effects there as well, like echo and different things to enhance the sound quality of the recording. And this program is free and it's very accessible.
Yeah, wow, what a lovely voice. And Desiree also told us that she showed us how she buys music online, and some web pages allow better access than others, but it's also an issue for musicians with disabilities accessing online music.
Yeah, not just writing music, but using the computer for ways to get music and hear music and explore new music that people might want to see. So Desiree, isn't the only singer that I know. There's several others that have disability in this city, and I can think of some really, really spectacular singers that are deaf and blind, and even a few that are in wheelchairs.
Really, I don't remember interviewing anyone in a wheelchair.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the clip.
Well, let's.
You want to
see
see it? Oh,
Yeah,
roll
I'd
it.
love to
Here
see
we
it.
go.
Stay with your man on the wall.
Okay, very funny. Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
You didn't know I was there that night, did you?
All right, that was a clip of me doing karaoke with Dilka in Puerto Rico. Dave is just showing this clip because he's mad at me. Last Christmas we had a gift exchange, and I gave Dave a coupon for kickboxing lessons, and so he got mad at me. So we had to show this, but
Turned out to be not too useful.
But anyway, we were in Puerto Rico. I met this beautiful woman, Dilka, and she dragged me out onto the karaoke floor. I fell in love with her, but she didn't fall in love with me, Dave. I don't know what the problem is.
But what all I want to know is, was there tequila involved?
There definitely was some kind of alcohol involved, absolutely. Dilka showed us around Puerto Rico, and it was just a great time. But karaoke is always an option for someone with a disability that wants to get out there and sing.
It is. We don't want to give our viewers the wrong idea that everybody in wheelchairs sings like you. And in fact, I know a very good singer that's in a chair, Regina Bly. Remember her?
Oh,
We
yeah.
worked with her on Actual Lives. Yeah, and she just has a very fantastic, beautiful, soulful, again, voice. Just an amazing performance.
I was 10, tall for my age, athletic with big chubby cheeks and ponytails in my hair. I had just been selected as an all-star on the Little Dribblers basketball team. I remember the crowds and dribbling that ball. It was like a dance. I was free then. I was a little girl in my own world. I would give anything to recapture that moment. But until then, I have to wonder how it feels to be just that free again. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things I shouldn't say.
Regina. That was really a good piece. I mean, she's just such a great singer and just so soulful and beautiful. Much better than the first wheelchair singer clip that we watched a little bit ago.
We love Regina. Yeah.
But you know, Gene, listening to that song just reminded me of how much music can affect people's emotions. You know, they can just make you feel so different. In fact, just coming in here today, you know, they had the jam box out and they were barbecuing some hamburgers and hot dogs out there and just had it cranked up and they were playing, and there was even people out on the front porch there dancing, just having a good old time, and, you know, just really feeling so great and good. And it was, you know, because there was music playing in the background. One of the things that I've been taught at some of my acting classes even is that music has the biggest effect on our moods and how we project ourselves forward. So whenever you're going in to play a part that's comedic, for example, listen to some comedy or some funny songs before you go in, and that smile that's put on your face will project through when you're doing your character. Or if you're going in to play a sad part, you know, if you have to go in and cry or be sad and mellow, listen to some sad, mellow music before you go in.
Play some dirges.
Yeah, whatever it takes, you know. Or even watch Old Yeller.
Yeah.
You know, it's not music, but it puts you in that mindset. You know, you listen to it and you know, you start feeling sad, so that you can bring that out in whatever character you're doing. In fact, you know somebody, right, that used music to change people's moods.
I really do. Jeff Moyer, a musician that's living in Cleveland, Ohio. Jeff has a visual disability as well as other disabilities. Back in 1977, April of 1977.
That was a few years ago.
Just a few. Jeff and hundreds and hundreds of other folks with disabilities were at a health education and welfare building in California. They were protesting because the regulations weren't written yet for Section 504 of the Rehab Act, and people with disabilities were outraged. And they were all gathered around there, but somebody grabbed Jeff and said, Jeff, we need you on the steps up there. We need you to start playing. When people hear music, they'll start gathering around. We can get them organized then. We need them to be all together on this. So they pulled Jeff out. He started playing, and sure enough, people just all gathered around the center there, and he played some songs that really got people into the mood about you know, we shall overcome, and we shall not be moved, that sort of thing. So it was a really this was an historic event, and that Jeff played at. In fact, we have a news clipping of that, so you can see the young Jeff Moyer and see him how he is today.
On April 5th, 1977, proud and defiant, 500 to 600 people in wheelchairs with walking canes and hearing aids stormed the regional office of Health, Education, and Welfare in San Francisco. Their purpose? To stop discrimination against the disabled, no matter what the consequences.
Our role that afternoon was to ask the people in the federal bureaucracy to call Washington and press for the signing of 504 as drafted.
4 hours, the demonstrators are forced out of the federal buildings. Everywhere, that is, except San Francisco. Instead of giving in, they move in what will become the longest occupation of a federal building in U.S. history.
Now check this out, Dave. I'm in California, Jeff is in Cleveland, and I hear this song, Assistive Technology Boogie. And I said, wow, what a great song. I got to find out who did this. I did some searching. I found out it was Jeff. I hadn't met him to this point. I tracked Jeff down. We talked on the phone. I remembered he lived in Cleveland, So I'm from Cleveland. I flew to Cleveland. I did an interview with Jeff, filmed him, and Jeff was kind enough to allow me to make this music video with him called Yes I Can. It's also on YouTube. Check it out.
Can I be all that I am? Oh, yes, I can. Can I see my life's direction and its plan? Can I climb that mountain high? Can I fly off to the sky? Can I do it when I try? Yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can. Just by living every day just as I am. Because there's nothing I can't do if I really wanted to. And I believe that that is true. Yes, I can. Can I move right to the head row of the class? Can I grab that ring of shiny yellow brass? Can I win medals of gold? Are there stories to be told? Can I shape my own life's mold? Well, yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can. Just by living every day just as I am. Because there's nothing I can't do if I really wanted to. And I believe that that is true. Oh, yes, I can. Can I do the things that test me to the core? Can I overcome these obstacles and more? Can I live with dignity, a life complete and free, expressing my humanity? Well, yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can. Just by living every day just as I am. 'Cause there's nothing I can't do if I really wanted to. And I believe that that is true. Oh, yes, I can. And I believe that that is true. Yes, I can. I believe that that is true. Yes, I can.
So
Yes, I can. Man, I can do anything now, Gene. After listening to that song, I'm inspired. I can do it, whatever it is.
It is an inspirational song, and Jeff is just the most compassionate person I know, and his emotions really come out in his songs. I would encourage you to go to his website. You'll find a number of CDs there that Jeff has done. The web address is right here on the screen. His name is Jeff Moyer. You could Google him. You'll find his webpage that way as well.
Check him out for some more inspiration.
Now, Dave, a lot of folks with different types of disabilities play music, and you learned about something called music therapy.
Yeah, I mean, we've showed a lot on the show so far of a lot of different people with varying disabilities that have overcome them through music or have used them to change the moods of other people. But music can really affect the way people learn and the way people do things. And sometimes just playing an instrument that you love can be a lot of work. And so some physical therapists have discovered this and thought, wow, let's tie in that joy of music with the work of some physical therapy and create music therapy. And it lets people really just come out of their shell, and once again it changes their mood about doing physical activity, and gives them something to really enjoy and something to love. I've got a friend, Michael Tidmore, who we're going to get to see here in a minute, working with his music therapist, and he just loves music, wants to be a writer, and his goal is to someday be a superstar. So here he is with his music therapist, and in an afternoon that I spent with them doing music therapy.
Hi, my name's Meredith Gaines. I am a board-certified music therapist. My mom actually is an occupational therapist, and I think she was responsible for giving me an interest in the therapy side of how music can be used in therapy. And so I went on from UT Austin to the University of Kansas in Lawrence, and I got what they call a music therapy equivalency, because music therapy is actually, it's a 4-year college degree program. You get your bachelor's in music therapy. Since I had a bachelor's in music, I had a lot of the required courses, but there were some courses that I was lacking, so I got a music therapy equivalency and decided to go on from there and get a master's in music therapy. All right, excellent. You ready to warm up?
Sure.
Okay. How about
about when my family took, and Deborah, of course, we all took a trip to Tennessee to see Crystal, and I'm really glad that I tongue twisting. I'm really glad that I wrote this song. It's the first country song I've ever written. I did a gospel song of an Elton John song called Your Song one time, and I got emotional about it. And sometimes songs like that can get you emotional. I mean, music is really helping me out here. It's what I want to do for a living. I wouldn't change a thing.
So can you tell me, Michael, what the first chord is?
F. It's right next to G.
Very good. How about we make F yellow? How about we make all these chords yellow? That we're gonna...
Yeah. This next one, I like to do this song. I did this song with my brother and my band called The Rollers. I was thinking about maybe, getting back together. That performance made me really live my dream and made me figure out that this is what I was supposed to do. This is what God sent me here to do. I was the closing act. Me and my band were the closing act for a country singer named Billy Joel Shape. It was awesome. I got a little bit nervous, but once I got up there, did a couple songs, I was fine. They need to make the ramp wider. That's the only thing. Somebody had to carry me on stage and put me back in my wheelchair. I think I'm going to help out a lot of CP people that want to sing, have a singing career. I think I'll be a legend to them. Anyway, this next song I'm going to play for you. Me and Meredith are going to sing. He looked down into her brown eyes and said, say a prayer for me. She threw her arms around him, whispered, God will keep us free. They could hear the riders come. He said, this is my last fight. If they take me back to Texas, they won't take me back alive.
there was thunder from the throne, and 7 Spanish angels took another angel. All right, dude.
Come on, man, help me with this thing, yeah. There was 7 Spanish angels at the altar of the sun. They were praying for the lovers in the valley of the gun. When the battle stopped in the smoke cleared, there was thunder from the throne.
Gene, Meredith and Michael are really inspiring me. Just the way that they try to put music together and sing some of those classic songs.
Makes me want to sing too.
I'm inspired so much. Yeah, I think I'm ready to sing. If you want to order the Gene and Dave Show Greatest Hits, we're still kind of a work in progress, but we want to get people ready. We're going to take pre-orders on our website.
So make sure you get your copy of Gene and Dave's Greatest Hits. Dave, another musician we had the pleasure to meet is Jake Williams. And
Jake the Snake, right?
Jake the Snake.
Remember
He likes
Jake
to be
the
called
Snake.
Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
Works over there at the Mary Lee Center. Jake is an amazing story. He had his first Grammy nomination at age 16, his second nomination at age 18. A couple months after his second Grammy nomination, he was in a car accident, had a traumatic brain injury, recovered well from it, but had a hard time getting back into music.
Yeah. Couldn't remember the lyrics or some of the chords, but he was just so positive when we talked to him.
Oh, he really was.
Just a positive outlook. Still likes to play music, to the best of his abilities, and he uses it. He uses what he can do to change the moods of people once again.
He does. He plays music with his friends there at Mary Lee Center. He gets them involved, gets them to open up, and you just can't say enough good stuff about this guy. He was kind enough to do some songs for us, and so here's a chance to listen to Jake the Snake. Jake Williams, everybody.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Jacob Williams. Most people call me Jake the Snake. I've been, pretty much playing music all my life. Started out when I was a young age, in elementary school, and I played in a little punk band. Just invited my friends home from school and said, y'all are going to be in a band, and took them to my parents' house. My father and my older brother played music. They already had bands, and there's music going on. So I just took them in the basement, and we just started from there. I learned from different musicians running in and out the house, from every style of music. I played, and I also did music at school. I played in the orchestra class, upright bass. So I've been influenced by a lot of music, and after, when I started getting middle school, I joined the band in a classic rock band, and that's when I got Grammy nominated the first time. We put our first album out. It's the best rock album of the year. But we sure didn't win. I wasn't on TV, but it's good to say I was nominated, because that's always nice. But
At age 16.
Especially at 16, exactly. Had a good time with that band, and then when I was about 18, I guess, I joined another band, and we put out an album, and we shot all over the town. We were on the Best Rock Act in my hometown, Chattanooga, Tennessee, 2 years in a row. And we didn't even have to worry about that. We were playing out all over. And we released the album. I got Grammy nominated again for Best Rock Album of the Year. And didn't win that one. I wouldn't be here, but if I won it, but I guess. But anyways, so I had my fair share of playing all over the South. I moved to Austin, Texas about 4 years ago. My that band broke up, Crank Sinatra. We broke up, and I was kind of down and out, and I moved to Austin, Texas. 2 months later, I got in a hit-and-run accident in which I had a traumatic brain injury. And they sent me to this rehab over here where I'm at now. It's called the Mary Lee Foundation. And they really did me good. Within that same year, I recovered. My recovery was so fast. I was working for them within the first year. I went to client to staff within the first year. Right after I got out of my accident, I was scared to touch my bass. My main instrument is bass, and I was scared to touch it because I didn't know how emotional I would get if I couldn't play. And so I didn't touch the thing for months. I sat there in the bed. That's before I moved here. I needed help, and I thought I could do it on my own, but I couldn't. And yeah, I was scared to touch the bass. It was about 4 months until I touched the instrument. But it didn't take long from there. I was rusty. Definitely rusty, I'll tell you that. But still rusty. But I don't know. It wasn't. I wasn't crying. And it wasn't as disappointing as I thought it was going to be. I picked it right up. Right now it's just. Since then, I started college and I started working so much every day. Really, music is more of a hobby for me. Okay, this song right here is by Pink Floyd. It's called "Wish You Were Here." Well, 1, 2, 3.
there, we appreciate it. You know, Dave and I are celebrities, and being celebrities, we get invited to a lot of functions. One of them was to the after parties at South by Southwest, and Dave and I had the good fortune to meet some of the folks at South by Southwest a couple of years ago, the Goodwill Band. We interviewed them. Well, Dave did. He's got a much stronger voice than I do. Dave interviewed them, and then we went to one of their after parties, listened to their music.
Yeah.
They made a great movie called For Once in My Life, but it's all folks with disabilities from the Miami area that were working at a Goodwill down there. And one of the folks at Goodwill says, you know, I think we could make a band.
Right.
So he got these people together, and they learned music, played in a band, and the movie's unbelievable, but we'll have the link to the YouTube video for that movie on our webpage. Look in the show summary section. But
it's really a great story of how these people used music to not only get people to come into work, because, you know, oh man, some days it's just really hard to get up out of bed and get to work. But, you know, for these folks, most of which have cognitive disabilities, you know, and need something a little bit extra to help them get out of bed and get to work, and then also to help them help their behavior once they're at work and to keep them focused, music became such a huge reward to them that it's you know, it's why they look forward to going to work. So, and I think if I had a band at my office, you know, and got to play like that,
I'd be working weekends.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be a lot of fun. So I really admire these folks that have, you know, thought outside the box and you know, put this band together. And the movie is really a great movie. If you ever get a chance to watch it, you really should. For Once in My Life. But now, let's take a listen to him and see what you think.
Yeah, well, the film For Once in My Life is about the greatness that exists in each one of us, and then what people with disabilities or any person can do when given an opportunity to succeed. That's basically the message of the film. The Spirit of Goodwill Band has been a band that is primarily made up of people with disabilities, all kinds of disabilities, physical and mental disabilities. We started as a small choir in about 14 years ago, and 8 or 10 voices, and it became and developed into a full band of 28 people on stage with different instruments, and that's what the film is all about.
So how did the project start for a film?
Well, it was about 2 years ago. We were doing performances for all these years, and then we noticed that when people were looking at the stories of these musicians, we produced some videos, short videos to play in between songs, and when we saw the reaction of people, how they were connected with the musicians, we said, well, this is a great story here, so we need to try to put it on film to tell how this group came together, how we can they were able to learn to play instruments, how they were able to connect with each other in a way that music empowers them to give them a voice, that actually gives them a voice to some that they can really talk. So we began to develop that idea, and then work with Jim, our producer, and then for almost 2 years shooting footage and putting it together, and then finally we're here releasing the film here.
Yeah, that was great being able to spend some time with the Goodwill Band. But there's a lot more to music we haven't covered. There's more musicians in Austin. Dee Madness, he's got a web page and Facebook page, and his web address is, where did we put that, Dave?
It's right down there on the screen.
There it is. All right. Look up Dee Madness.
I love how that just pops up like that.
It's amazing. Or if you live outside of Austin, look up the Coalition of Disabled Musicians. See what they've got going on.
And sometimes it's really hard for people with disabilities to get into music. And if you want to find out more, if you're a book person and really love books, we're going to suggest a book for you. Here's the cover of it, and it's called Music, Disability and Society, and it's written by Alex Lubet. He challenges the rigid view of technical skills and writes about music in relationship to disability studies. He addresses the ways in which people with disabilities are denied the opportunity to participate in music. Elaborating on the theory of social confluence, Lubet provides a variety of encounters between disability and music to observe radical transformations of identity.
Dave, I couldn't have said it better myself.
It's a book definitely worth checking out.
All right, folks, take care.
It's been a great show. We'll see you soon.
Smiling at me, nothing but a blue sky. Do I see bluebirds singing a song? Nothing but blue sky from now on. Now I never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days very bright when you look my eye. Blue days full of them all. Nothing but blue sky from now on. I say blue, blue, blue.